starts now.
Good morning, Utah. I'm Sarah Martin.
And I'm Brian Carlson. The time is 6:30 on this Monday.
We begin with new information about a shooting in the middle of the day in Salt Lake City. We now know the name of a man who allegedly fired a gun into a crowd of people yesterday at Liberty Park. ABC4's Jared Jutnini is live at Liberty Park with what we know this morning. Good morning, Jared.
Good morning. Well, court documents say that man, 19-year-old Patrocinio Perez, right now in police custody. Those court documents say that Patrocinio Perez is charged with 2 counts right now this morning. 1, felony discharge of a firearm, and illegal possession of a dangerous weapon. The documents say Perez was on probation for a felony, making him a restricted person. According to witnesses, SLCPD says around 3 p.m. on Sunday, Perez fired a gun inside a busy Liberty Park into a crowd of people. No injuries to report. Police say the large number of witnesses helped police quickly find Perez and take him into custody. Right now, police say that there's still an investigation into exactly the motive behind all this, but when Perez was arrested, he did have a gun on him, which police believe is the gun that he used to fire into that crowd of people. Live, Jared Jutnini, ABC4 News.
Jared, thank you. A Salt Lake City man fell and died while climbing a difficult trail in Cottonwood Canyons. 26-year-old Andrew Acuff fell roughly 200 feet yesterday morning deep in the Wasatch Ultimate Ridgeline. Search and rescue crews say a group of random hikers came across his body near Dromedary Peak. Dromedary is a Class 3 hike, which means rock scrambling using both your hands and feet are necessary. We spoke with a woman who lives near the trailhead who says these hikes are more difficult than people think.
I think a lot of people probably get surprised when they hike this trail. If they're not prepared, they didn't do their research, they didn't know what to expect.
Search and rescue crews want to warn people it takes highly skilled hikers to travel this trail, and it's very dangerous for those who don't know what they're doing.
A pilot who helped police catch a man who took officers on a police chase in St. George. This happened Sunday morning, where an officer saw a car driving erratically. Police identify the driver as Colton Richmond. They say he led police on a chase while holding a woman against her will. The chase hit some dirt roads. Dust got so bad the pursuing officer lost sight. He crashed. Well, a private pilot saw what was going on and reported it, which is how police made that arrest.
In Davis County, a dog died in a house fire in Syracuse. This happened yesterday afternoon near 15th West, 14th South. We're told when crews arrived, they found the garage and part of the home up in flames. It took 27 firefighters from 5 agencies on scene more than an hour to put out that fire. 3 people were able to make it out of the home, but a dog died. No one else was hurt. No word yet on the cause of that fire.
And in Bountiful, police arrest a man accused of ramming into multiple cars and then holding a standoff with the SWAT team. This started Sunday morning near 26 South and Main Street there in Bountiful. Police got reports of a truck driving recklessly trying to ram into another car. They identify the driver as 51-year-old Corey Adams. He led police on a chase, kept ramming into cars, including police patrol cars, they say. When the chase ended, it turned into a SWAT standoff. Police eventually arrested Scott.
Tropical storm Nicholas is making its way up the Gulf Coast today, threatening heavy rain and flooding. The National Hurricane Center in Miami said Nicholas is strengthening, churning winds up to 60 miles an hour. The storm expected to pass near the South Texas coast, much of the state's coastline under a tropical storm warning. Nicholas could bring upwards of 10 inches of rain. Texas has placed rescue teams and resources along the Houston area and the Gulf Coast.
Time now for your weather on the 4s.
Let's check your weather on the 4s now. Meteorologist Thomas Giboy. Thomas, another kind of wild weather coming along the south. Luckily, we're not seeing anything quite so intense here.
No, in fact, our weather is in the process of calming down. We did see a few showers and thunderstorms over this past weekend as we saw moisture work its way in, but as quickly as that moisture moves in, it's now in the process of moving back away. So we are tracking a few showers and thunderstorms in the southwestern part of Wyoming. But majority of that moisture continues to move away to the east along with the low pressure lifting mechanism for that as well. But in the northeastern corner of the state today and in southwestern Wyoming, an isolated shower or storm can't be completely ruled out as we work our way through today. Just the chance will become less and less as we move from this morning into the afternoon. Here's the current view from the Southern Utah University Quad, where we're approaching sunrise this morning. You got that early Monday morning glow. That is a pretty way to start this Monday morning. Meanwhile, in downtown Salt Lake City with the doTERRA camera in downtown Salt Lake City, got a partly cloudy sky, so we're starting off with a little bit of cloud coverage out there, but That cloud coverage will be kind of waning as we make our way towards this afternoon, becoming a mostly sunny sky. Right now in downtown Salt Lake City, 65 degrees. The cloud coverage sitting at 75%. But again, that cloud coverage will be going down in our forecast in Salt Lake City, a high of 84 degrees, sunny and relatively seasonal for this time of year. Meanwhile, it's going to be hot and breezy down in St. George with a daytime high of around 101. And if you're going to be heading out over the next couple of days, maybe going for a hike, you're going to get some pretty good weather, and also pretty good weather go down to Lake Powell, maybe get down on the water with temperatures hanging out in the middle 90s over the next few days. With your traffic, the only accident out there that we've been really watching has been I-80 westbound. That's in the clearing stages. Meanwhile, there's a wreck on I-15 northbound, and this is near Spanish Fork. But again, traffic seems to be flowing along rather nicely for this Monday morning, and your drive time still right on time, anywhere from 30 to 31 minutes from Ogden to Salt Lake City. Safe travels.
A football tradition full of fun and a lot of mascots, once again raising money for kids in need. Tonight is the annual Mascot Bowl at Harriman High School. The man knows the original Jazz Bear brings in all his mascot friends for an exciting game filled with food, live entertainment, a fireworks finale, and a whole lot more. Each game, each year, raises money for kids at Christmas. Joining us to share what to expect, former Jazz Bear himself, John Absey.
Absey. You can call me. I've been
called
worse.
You think I get that down here? We've said it enough times here, John. Of course, and some of the student body president, I believe, over here at Harriman High School, Isaac Wardle.
El Presidente.
El Presidente. And the student senior senator,
yes.
Peyton. Peyton, what's your last name here, Peyton?
Adams.
Peyton Adams. Good to have you guys all here today. So, looks like the game's gonna be a lot of fun here, John.
It's gonna be awesome. This is our 19th year. And it just keeps getting bigger every year, and it's the money.
Because you keep making it bigger every year. That's the thing, is you keep bringing in mascots from all over the country. Who's showing up to this game?
Oh, we have the Detroit Pistons mascot showing up, Rocky from the Denver Nuggets. We have Sourdough Sam. I just saw a video of him doing a little leg kick.
Yep.
From the San Francisco 49ers. We have a bunch of NHL mascots, the Carolina Hurricane and the New Jersey Devils. We have a bunch of them.
So everybody, and of course all the local mascots too.
Yep, we'll have over 25.
Crazy.
So it'll be fun.
Well, if I know anything about John, he loves to bring chaos in there to be able to make a good time.
Yep.
Obviously, but it's not just about that. You're obviously doing it for a good cause.
Yes. No. The money that we raise is going to go to Firemen and Friends for Kids, and then what we do in December is we take underprivileged kids Christmas shopping, and then that's where the SBO people come in. Is we can't do this without them.
Now, you guys are putting on the game, right? Is that the whole point? You're putting the whole game together?
Yes.
That's a job and a half.
It's been a lot of work, but we're excited about it.
Yeah, so what can people expect when they show up to the game?
Well, we've got a bunch of carnival games going. We're going to have a ton of food trucks, and we're going to have the mascots playing our 8th grade football team from Harriman High School.
Have either of you played in that game when you were in 8th grade?
No. We're not football players.
You're like, I'm not doing that.
No way.
You got everybody you're going up against there. Swoop, you got Cosmo, everybody's there.
People don't understand how big 8th graders are nowadays.
Yeah, they're getting bigger.
You were there 2 years
I
ago.
remember.
They were big kids.
I ate a lot of food.
300-pound lineman there one
Yep.
year, and I was just like, this is crazy.
Yeah. So, Peyton, what does it mean to have Harriman have this game at Harriman?
Oh, it's a huge deal. We're so excited to host it.
Yeah, and of course have everybody there. And of course, what I understand is you get not only a chance to be able to put the game together and organize the whole thing, but you get to go with those kids to go shopping for Christmas.
Yeah, we're really excited to chaperone them. And we did it our sophomore year, and it was so fun. It's such a great experience.
Yeah. What was it like when you were being out there with those kids?
It's like an experience not like any other. Like, there's nothing like it.
It's just so much fun to brighten those kids' days and to see their faces just light up when they realize that this is just going to be one of the best Christmases they've ever had, and it's just great to see the joy on their faces.
You have a goal here, John, of how many kids you're trying to help this year?
Honestly, we don't really ever have a goal. We just try to help as many as we can. Every dollar goes towards the kids, so the more money we raise, the more kids we take.
Okay, so if people want to show up tonight, they say, okay, I want to go to the game, I want to see the mascots, I want to see the fireworks, and you got live performers tonight, right?
Yep. We have Charlie Jenkins playing tonight as a concert afterwards, a fireworks show from Pyro Crate. Thank you, Eric Farnsworth, for donating the fireworks. And we have a punt pass kick at halftime with 5 different schools in the area, and the winner, or the school that wins, we're going to donate $500 to their, is it Rush, or to your guys' charity kickoff. Every school does kind of a charity fundraiser, so we're going to help them with that. There
you go. Because if you want to show up tonight, of course, you see the information right there. Harriman High School starts all of the festivities at 5, kickoff 6:30.
5 to 6 is autographs.
Right? Right? You got everything you
And
want
then
right
and
there.
then 6:30's
And then
kickoff.
6:30. There you go. And of course, you want more information, you got the website right there. We have a link on our website, abc4.com, talking with Isaac and Peyton here from Harriman High School, and of course, the original Jazz Bear, John Absey. Guys, thanks for being with us this morning.
No, thank you, Brian. Thanks for having us on.
You bet. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sounds like a wild and good time. All right, at 6:40 now, coming up on Good Morning Utah, the FDA urging parents not to vaccinate their children under 12 just yet. Find out when experts hope the shot for children ages 5 to 11 will be available. Plus, China taking a familiar design to the runway from streetwear to hospital wear. Don't forget, staying informed has never been easier. ABC4 News is there for you for breaking and local live streaming news. Download our app. Just scan the QR code right there on your screen. Here's what's coming up on Good Morning America.
In this morning's GMA First Look, a new twist in the Murdaugh family murder mystery. Clashing reports on the September 4th roadside shooting of South Carolina lawyer Alec Murdaugh. An incident report released by the Hampton County Sheriff's Office claiming there were no visible injuries. Murdaugh's team releasing further details of the injuries, saying he had entry and exit wounds, his skull fractured, which led authorities to correct the report. All eyes have been on the Murdaugh family since the brutal unsolved murders of wife Maggie and 22-year-old son Paul this past June.
Are they breathing?
No, ma'am. My wife and my son.
And what is your name?
My name is Alec Murdaugh. Please hurry. Neither one of them's moving.
And we'll have the very latest on this unfolding mystery coming up at 7 a.m. With your GMA First Look, I'm Eva Pilgrim, ABC News, New York.
From Utah's most accurate forecast, here's a pinpoint weather update.
The time is 6:44. Let's check your weather on the 4s with meteorologist Thomas Gieboy. You know, Thomas, I know we're supposed to start getting into fall here, but it does not feel like it.
No, and it hasn't felt like fall basically all September so far, but we could see some changes to that, where at least it should feel relatively close to how it should for this time of year, because we're going to be drying out over the next couple of days and along the Wasatch Front near seasonal temperatures, which near seasonal this time of year is lower to middle 80s. So we'll be close to that range here in the next couple of days. Meanwhile, for those of you down in St. George, you're going to get more heat. Daytime highs will still be ranging around 100 degrees over the next few days, but maybe by the end of the week, you get a little bit of a reprieve in that heat. And the question is, what about the smoke with us drying back out? We could see some smoke work its way back in, but those thick concentrations don't look like they're really going to be working their way back in, but it looks like at least some will over the next couple of days. In the meantime, though, how about this view from Moab overlooking a very calm and still Colorado River this morning? That is a beautiful sunrise as we're starting off on this Monday morning. And if you take a photo of this morning's sunrise, share it with me on my Twitter or Facebook, Thomas Gieboy WX, and we'll try to get it on air later on today. With the radar this morning, a few showers and thunderstorms in the southwestern part of Wyoming and a couple of very light showers in the higher terrain as you make your way towards the Wasatch. But that moisture continues to work its way to the east, which is why when you see the thunderstorm outlook for today, it's mainly the northeastern half of our area as you travel up towards the Uintas, as that moisture, again, moving away to the east, and so is that lifting mechanism, that area of low pressure with the front moving through. And high pressure is going to start to settle its way in, and our winds will be out of the northwest. So tomorrow could be a little bit cooler than what we find today. But for today, at 4 o'clock this afternoon, maybe a couple of isolated showers and maybe a rumble of thunder in the higher terrains, mainly up towards the Uintas. But again, that moisture moving away to the east with near seasonal temperatures in the north and more heat down in the south. Meanwhile, as we go into tomorrow with winds switching out of the northwest, temperatures will run a little bit cooler in Salt Lake City, mostly dry skies, mostly sunny skies as the heat continues down south. And for your Wednesday, not too much of a change with that westerly flow. That could bring in a little bit of smoke, but maybe a little bit of that haze. But it's predominantly dry skies with barely a cloud in the sky as we go throughout the next couple of days after today. As we start off partly cloudy, it will become mostly sunny, and that's part of the regional forecast for today, with a daytime high of 84 degrees in Salt Lake City, 86 degrees in Provo, 85 degrees in Price, 96 degrees in Moab, and you'll be at 81 degrees in Ely. Meanwhile, the futurecast smoke, and as I mentioned, as we get more of that westerly flow, we could find a little bit more smoke working its way in, but we're staying away from those orange and yellow colors, which are those thicker concentrations. So there'll be a little bit of haze in the air and maybe some moderate air quality, but not looking to be too bad as we see some of that smoke work its way back in after a very nice reprieve over this past weekend. In St. George, going to be breezy and hot today and going to be staying on the hot side for your Tuesday and Wednesday, but notice the temperatures by the end of the week into the upcoming weekend easing back to the middle 90s, which won't feel too bad. And along the Wasatch Front, lower to middle 80s for today, lower 80s tomorrow, partly cloudy, becoming mostly sunny, and then we're looking at mostly sunny skies as temperatures climbing to the upper 80s for your Thursday, then settling back close to seasonal averages heading into the upcoming weekend. With your traffic, there are a few accidents out there, not surprising as we're really getting close to rush hour. We got one accident at Utah 201, and that's going to be at I-215. So if you're traveling through that area, give yourself a little extra time, and your drive times for the most part are still looking good. From Park City to Salt Lake City, it's 30 to 35 minutes. But if you want more weather and traffic, all you have to do is tune into the CW30. Coming up at 7 a.m., we'll have a full look at your forecast and traffic then coming up at 7 a.m.
Thomas, thank you. Time now for news around the world. In Israel, Israeli forces and Hamas militants exchanged rocket fire and airstrikes early this morning over the Gaza Strip. There were no immediate reports of casualties. The latest points of tension in their long history of conflict. Hamas is demanding Israel lift an economic blockade of Gaza. Israel wants Hamas to release 2 Israeli civilians and 2 deceased Israeli soldiers. In Spain, people are fleeing their homes. 6 Andalusian towns and villages are now becoming surrounded by fires. Spain's military unit has been sent to the area to help tackle that fire. It's raging close to coastal Del Sol resort on Sunday. Officials say that fire is unusual strength. It's covered more than 1,500 acres. In China, personal protective equipment took center stage during China's Fashion Week. A show of medical garments with various modifications paid tribute to the medical workers who fought against the virus. These designs were created by one of China's largest apparel and textile manufacturers. They're said to be more comfortable and certainly more colorful. That's your news around the world.
And in your business news, investors now preparing for a shift in the stock market and the worldwide computer chip shortage making it a good time to get into the computer chip industry. Here's your Good Morning Utah business report. New warnings about a potentially rough ride on the stock markets this fall. Analysts and firms like Bank of America, Morgan Stanley, and Deutsche Bank all out with notes cautioning investors about the possibility of the markets pulling back. The S&P 500 has already hit more than 50 record highs this year. And the company behind the hit video game Fortnite is pushing ahead with its legal fight against Apple. Epic Games is planning to appeal a recent decision after a federal judge ruled that Apple had to allow developers to offer other ways for customers to pay besides through the App Store. But the judge rejected Epic's allegations that the App Store is a monopoly. Plus, the worldwide computer chip shortage, blamed for slowing car production, is speeding up closer ties between car companies and chip makers. Research firm IHS Markit says the automotive chip market will be worth about $85 billion by 2027. And finally, GM is also working with tech company LG on another problem: battery fires in its Bolt electric cars. Battery plants run by LG have been identified as the source of the problem. And that's your Good Morning Utah Business Report.
As millions of jobs vanished during the pandemic, the food insecurity crisis in America has deepened. Food pantries have been stretched to their limits. Facilities have had to lose volunteers, face shortages, and some even close their doors. ABC's Morgan Norwood takes a closer look.
The coronavirus pandemic continues to impact the daily lives of most Americans, from work to school and home. As businesses closed, millions lost their jobs, and for many, the question of how they would feed their family became a real fear. Tony's Kitchen of St. Luke's Church became a lifeline in their community for those who would navigate a soup kitchen for the first time.
We've definitely had new guests. I've walked out here and seen friends of mine in line. People who never expected to ever be at a pantry have been really hard hit.
The soup kitchen also fell on hard times during the pandemic.
When the pandemic hit, really all of our distribution mechanisms shut down overnight.
Because of COVID restrictions, supply concerns, and increased demand, Tony's got creative and asked for help from the community, who answered the call.
We were outside. We would set up tables to receive in food donations, to sort food. People came and did pickups for us at markets, which was tremendous.
Their donations so massive, their dining room turned into a warehouse. Tony's even started delivering meals to those who were homebound.
People stepped in wherever there were gaps. The community responded with so much generosity.
According to a new report from the USDA, food insecurity increased significantly during the pandemic, widening by 10% among Black and Hispanic households. Despite the supply chain shortages, Feeding America's charitable network of food banks, which supports thousands of partner agencies, including Tony's Kitchen, distributed more than 6 billion meals in 2020, an increase of 44% than in 2019.
One of the things that we really try to help everyone understand is how brave, courageous, and resilient their local food banks and their local food pantries have been through this pandemic.
But as the pandemic rages on, the fight against food insecurity continues. And that's where Tony's Kitchen comes in.
In this year and a half where so many things have been shut down to us, so many things have been closed off, this has been something that's been open and thriving and is alive and will continue to be for as long as it's needed.
Morgan Norwood, ABC News, Los Angeles.
As COVID cases continue to rise across the country, places like New York City will begin enforcing some new rules. Beginning today, New Yorkers will be required to show proof of vaccination before entering most indoor businesses. Right now across the U.S., 75% of adults have gotten at least one dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. This is CDC data shows 4 times as many people are hospitalized now than they were a year ago.
And the FDA is now warning parents eager to immunize their children from the virus. Don't give those kids the COVID-19 vaccine. The FDA says children under 12 are not small adults, and parents should wait until there's a vaccine made specifically for them. Former head of the FDA says the vaccine for children ages 5 to 11 could potentially be out by Halloween if everything goes well. Right now, children make up 1 in every 4 new cases.
All right, Thomas, one last look at our weather.
Yep, and we got some pretty photos to show you from this past weekend.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, so this was sent from
it's a screensaver.
Enoch. Yeah,
this
was sent by Deborah Jones. How about that for a sunset? That's pretty good. That was sent in on Saturday, and then Scott Taylor captured this above Midway. And if you notice, the fall colors shining through in the Heber Valley
already.
That is beautiful. And then last night had this captured in South Jordan by Chris Williams, a beautiful sunset with thin and wispy cirrus clouds. Some beautiful views, so thank you to everyone that sent in your photos. And if you want to see your photos on air, just send them to me. You can email me, or you can just send them through Facebook or Twitter, and we'll definitely try to make sure that we get them on air. And how about a beautiful sunrise this morning? This is currently in Blanding. Nice way to start the day. And that
was a live look right there at Blanding?
That was a live look at Blanding, and this is a live look at Powder Mountain. And there's enough clouds around to make it pretty outside this morning. We still got a little bit of moisture in the Beehive State, but that moisture is in the process of working away. So we're finding a few showers and thunderstorms through southwestern Wyoming and the northeastern half of Utah. But again, we're going to be looking at predominantly dry skies. It's relatively comfortable as you're heading out the door. But the forecast for Salt Lake City starting off partly cloudy, becoming mostly sunny, daytime high at 84 degrees, and in St. George 101. So it is going to be hot outside, but along the Wasatch Front, temperatures today close to seasonal averages. With your traffic, there are a few accidents out there, but overall you see a lot of green there on your screen, which means traffic on our major thoroughfares are traveling around rather nicely. And if you're going from Provo to Salt Lake City, it's 36 minutes in both directions. Safe travels.
All right, sounds good. It's baby birthday time. This is Alexandria Newbold. She turned 3 on Friday.
So cute.
I believe her grandma's watching this morning and just sent us the photo watching today. So she turned 3.
Oh, man. I can use some cotton candy this morning.
Oh, yeah. Don't we all love a good cotton candy? Her grandma says she's a great big sister, brings smiles and joy to everyone she meets, and her grandma and grandpa love her. We do, too. Happy birthday to you, Alexandria.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, with her bringing smiles, it's only fitting she gets a big smile from that cotton candy.
You bet. And of course, if you want to celebrate your birthdays with us, just like grandparents sent us their photo this morning, email that photo to us at news@abc4.com and put in the subject line, baby birthday.
All right, we've got a cool story here, a homecoming for a famous group of elephants, more than a year in the making. The wandering herd of Asian elephants, we've been talking about them since March of 2020. They finally made it home. They did a massive 300-mile loop just because they felt like it.
Yeah, and it's like, it's time to go for a walk, kids.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to do it for like a year and a half.
We're migrating. Just wild. So they left their reserve. They were in a nature reserve. They left in March of 2020, and they have just gotten back. They even had a little baby on the way.
Way to go. All right, thanks for making this part of your morning.
More local news coming up on Utah's CW30.